My name is Chris Todd. I teach 3D art and sculpture at Coastal. I went to undergrad thinking I would be an actress or an artist, or an art teacher, actually, sorry. And I started acting when I got to undergrad, and I kind of hated it, it turned out. I mean, I'm a 4'10" woman, so I often got cast either as a little girl or an elf or whatever, so it wasn't the fun that I wanted. Meanwhile, I started working in the scene shop building sets because it was required, and I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the idea that even as a petite woman, I could do anything I needed to on the table saw. I sort of got hooked pretty fast on the woodworking tools because the power of it was really exciting. And that also empowered me. It made me feel like I can do anything. Students today are coming out of school systems where art is not as important as it used to be. And they're also coming out of families where making isn't as stressed as it used to be. And so we're losing our ability to see the world, to articulate the world, and to make something, to give a contribution to the world. And so I see a lot of students come into my 3D class with no skill set whatsoever. And I think, like, to the point of, when I was a kid, my mom used to teach me how to make little yarn dolls, like you make pom-poms wrapping the yarn around. And those simple skills are starting to be lost in this generation. And so it's really important that I get a chance to work with these students in 3D and get them to feel like they can make anything, and that making something, whether it's a drawing or a sculpture, is such a gift to know that you can do it, to know that you can express yourself, to have that avenue. I feel really lucky that I get to still offer that to students, and I think it's even more important than I ever realized it would be in a society where that's undervalued. Building on what works and being flexible enough to change your curriculum as you go along is important. The biggest thing is getting the kids interested and invested in what they're doing. If they don't care about what they're building, it shows in their work. And so how to find what materials, or giving them enough skills, showing them how to glue two edges of mat board together seems so basic, but they're intimidated by it if they don't see it happen. And so my tip, I guess, for 3D design is to give your students enough skills that then you can push them into the visual further. When I don't have enough time to do my own work, but I get to teach, solving those problems is just as exciting in someone else's project as it is in my own. And so I don't want to solve the problem for them, but in my mind I have to solve it before I can encourage them to take a route. So, and I don't think there's ever just one way to do something, which makes it really exciting and fun. And I love when you can get that kind of dialogue with a student where because oftentimes they'll start with, I can't do this. And I say, okay, well, if you could, how would you do it? And then they say, well, I could do this. And I can say, what about if you did this? And then it can keep kind of growing, and it becomes just like, I love it when they think of a way I would never think of. That is super exciting to me. So, problem solving, my favorite part of art.